Wizards of the Coast is holding a Content Creator Summit. What does that mean?
You throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect.
Last week, various content creators and influencers announced that they were attending a Dungeons & Dragons Content Creator Summit, with Wizards paying for a number of content creators and influencers to fly out to Seattle and attend a series of meetings with both the D&D design studio and the D&D content team, along with getting an early look at the new D&D virtual tabletop project. Notably, the attendees aren't being held under any sort of NDA, nor are they being asked to create any content based on what they experienced at the summit. Now, neither myself nor other members of the press were invited to attend the Content Creator Summit, although press and content creators tend to be handled differently by both Wizards and other major entertainment and entertainment-esque companies. This isn't really a surprise. Journalists generally have strict rules about what they can and can't accept from companies they cover, while content creators ideally have something more akin to a partnership with the companies they make content about and for. Now, there was a lot of, let's say, discourse surrounding the Content Creator Summit, with a lot of accusations and claims that folks are somehow compromising themselves by accepting an invitation to the event. And while everyone is entitled to their opinions, I hope that folks remember that content creators are people who have worked hard to build a platform that reaches other people like you and me. Now, certainly Wizards is hoping to cultivate some better relationships with creators in the aftermath of this whole OGL disaster thing, and maybe they want to get some better coverage to help put that fiasco behind them. But this would only really be a start. If anyone seriously thinks that a trip to Dungeons & Dragons headquarters is all it would take to get dozens of creators to suddenly toe some sort of company line, well, they have a very rude awakening ahead of them. And here's the thing, content creators thrive on authenticity. And that's really what Wizards is looking to utilize. Wizards doesn't want folks to shill for them. They want people who are genuinely excited about whatever it is that they're planning on showcasing at this thing. And if Wizards fails to live up to that standard, well, then Wizards will be at the center of whatever discourse comes out of the summit. After all, talking about whatever the flaws of the virtual D&D tabletop is means that Wizards knows what they need to improve upon, and fixing those errors gives Wizards a chance to show that they're listening to feedback. This is all good things for Wizards, regardless of if the discourse is positive or negative coming out of the summit. Now, of course, there will always be the argument that when a content creator enters into some kind of professional relationship with a company like Wizards, that content creator has to weigh whether being negative will impact their relationship with that company and that somehow damages their authenticity. And yes, that is certainly a concern that they might have, but most companies know now, at least, maybe not a few years ago, but certainly now in the age of the influencer, that it would be much more damaging to pull their relationship over some sort of mild criticism. Does Wizards really want to have some sort of YouTuber turn permanently against them over one critical video? No! Unless that video is really freaking awful. And creators usually understand that their viewership or readership or whatever ship is more dependent on them being authentic for their fans rather than being positive just because a company flew them to Seattle for a few days. Like, honestly, if you are really worried that some creator you like is going to suddenly become a company man just because they got to hang out at Wizards HQ for a few days, why the heck are you watching them in the first place? Back to the Creator Summit. Probably the most interesting thing about this whole thing is that the virtual tabletop is far enough that Wizards actually wants to show people. That's news! And maybe there's some sort of new wrinkle to 1D&D that Wizards wants to test out on folks who have very expressive faces that could be used in thumbnails all across YouTube. Or maybe they just want to get a feel on how much content creators plan on making from 1D&D. Are folks actually going to switch to 1D&D, or are they going to keep streaming 5e? Whatever the reason, there will be plenty of reactions and stuff hitting the web in April when this Content Creator Summit comes out. Meanwhile, we'll keep covering all the tabletop news right here on this lovely little YouTube channel. So what do you think about the Content Creator Summit? Let us know in the comment section, and please be nice. Remember, these are people just like you and me, and oh, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.